Welcome everybody to Roland Cowan Stadium in Carina as the Southern District Spartans host the North Gold Coast Seahawks in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. I'm John Guarna, and today in the booth I'm joined by former Pirates player, coach, and general manager Dave Derwin and former QBL referee Regan Baker. Guys, this matchup is a battle of the teams sitting at the bottom of the ladder, 14th and 15th. It's going to be a tough game. They played a few weeks ago. North Gold Coast got the 104-99 win a few weeks ago. Dave, what are your thoughts on the matchup today? Neither of these teams wants to go home with the wooden spoon at the end of 2018, the QBL season.
No, I think that would be unprestigious honour today for the loser. So I'm guessing it's going to be interesting to see. We would have thought the Spartans would have packed up shop and played another team in the last few weeks and haven't really done that. So I'm going to expect more of the same. They're still evaluating guys next year, who they want involved. And then for the Seahawks, it's our first time seeing them. So lucky last, and looking forward to seeing what they got.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as well. Sorry, John. It's the first time that we've ever actually got to see the Seahawks out on the floor. And look, it is their first season in the QBL. Things are a little bit difficult the first time. But look, it's going to be really interesting to see how they go out on the floor, how they work as a group, and obviously how they start preparing for the next season. And while we're at it as well, we do have to give a big shout out. Daniel Quigley from the Spartans coming back. First game since he got married. He's back from his honeymoon. So just got to give a big shout out to one of Nothing But Net's favorites.
Yeah, congratulations to Dan on his recent wedding. The Seahawks, though, Dave, feature one of the top imports in the QBL, Jerron Jamerson. You look at his statistics, and Dave, if his team had a little more success, we're probably talking about a potential all-QBL player.
Yeah, well, he didn't get a whole lot of love in our awards podcast, Jerry. And unfortunately, it's the only lifetime we've seen the Seahawks this year. So, but yeah, his statistics will be pretty impressive. 23, 6, and 4, 51%. So pretty good clip. And I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the younger guys from the Seahawks to see how they've developed. And their last 5 have been 2 and 3, right? So they're starting to play some okay ball. It's sure better than their 1-11 start. So really positive signs for this program.
And it's been an up-and-down season for the North Gold Coast. They are on their 3rd coach in the season, and they also have featured 19 players. So trying to find that group that they want to roll with has been a bit of a challenge for North Gold Coast in the 2018 season.
Yeah, and I think that's just part of the maturity of trying to build a program. So obviously they've come out of the SBL program, which is, I guess, cute and all, but it's really nothing like the QBL program, and they've learnt that the hard way. And so it's going to be just really, really looking forward to seeing some of their guys and seeing how they roll.
Well, it should be an interesting matchup. These guys, like we said, played a few weeks ago. It was a tight game. Seahawks got that win, 104-99. Spartans are going to be looking to get a bit of revenge and come off the bottom of the ladder if they can get a win this afternoon. Volkman and Jamerson going to jump it up.
I know you like my predictions, Johnny. I'm going to say Spartans by 5. Right?
Spartans by 5, all right. Reversing the result of the previous Seahawks-Spartans matchup.
That's what I think.
All right. Tip is won by the Seahawks. They'll have the first possession. Jamerson gets to the rim, swatted by Deshaun King.
Deshaun King says, I don't think so.
That was a huge block there from King to start the defensive possessions for Spartans. Quigley getting the start. Goldfinch jumper short. And Eustace with the defensive rebound. Here's the captain, Quigley. Now Volkman out to Quigley from the free throw line. Jump shot is short. Campbell loses it. Philp gets it back. Behind the back to Quigley. Get into the rim. Lays it up and in. And Quigley gets the first bucket of the afternoon.
Well, a better drive from Quigley. It was a lot more convincing than his jump shot that didn't look super convincing for him. But great drive. Good action from Philp. Hitting the cutter.
North Gold Coast answers. Quigley can't finish, but Volkman follows him up. Goldfinch in the corner, puts it on the deck, steps into a long two, and that rattles home. He's got a nice looking jump shot, Cameron Goldfinch.
Yeah, he's pretty long too, like a bit Abercrombie-ish, like a high release and jump shot, and he looks like a long athlete.
Eustace wasn't ready for the pass. Now Jamerson has it. Skips it to Goldfinch. Right corner three is short. Jamerson, though, with the rebound. Lawyer finds Campbell, who lays it in.
Wow, really easy. Just walk straight down the pipes. I mean, again, even if you don't have a shot blocker early on in the game, you put that guy on his backside.
6-4 the lead for the Seahawks. King from the top of the key. His three-pointer's off. We're going to get Quigley for the foul.
First team foul.
His first, the team's first. Remy Lawyer. Now Jamerson from the corner, three-pointer in and out. Philp comes down with it. King flips one up and in. He's quick.
Yeah, blow by. And right on the rim, explosive move from King.
So we're not at that 6. Campbell, deep two, is off.
Benny Volkman with a defensive board.
Nice ball movement from Spartans. Eustace three, though, is in and out. Lamakin leaves his feet and kicks it out to Lawyer. There's Jamerson. He can't hit, and his follow, though, goes home.
Yeah, pretty good job from King defensively to stay in front, but Jamerson stayed with it. Good drive.
Pass inside for Quigley is too far ahead. It's out of bounds. Turnover Spartans, first substitution of the game. Andre Greenwich checks in for Ben Volkman. That's a hard shell by Quigley. Gets him with the body. That's the second personal on Quigley. And right away you see Coach Thompson going to the bench, checking in for Quigley, Connor Ross.
Yeah, he, just a little bit late. I mean, you love the energy and the intensity, but just a little bit late on the show.
King gambles, Jamerson has it, gets inside, throws it up, it hits the back of the rim. But he's fouled, so he'll go to line for 2 shots. Jamerson on the season from the free throw line is about a 70% free throw shooter. And you see what he's trying to do, Dave. We talked about it off air. Jamerson only a 16% shooter from 3. Gets to the free throw line, though, quite often, about 10, 12 times a game. You got to give him that jump shot, I think, if you're Spartans, and make him a driver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a shooter, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, again, for those youngsters watching, really good hesitation, dribble too. You know, he got the guy closing out, and then the little hezo, and he got him out, and then Philp was out of position. And just, you know, really skillful move that helps him get to the line and put the Spartans another one closer to the bonus.
Yeah, Coach Thompson takes a timeout. We'll take one as well. 6:30 to go in the first. North Gold Coast up 2 on Spartans in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you at Roland Cowan Stadium. Jerron Jamerson at the free throw line for 2 shots. He hits the first. Team's up by 3 after that. Little foul trouble here early for Spartans. They got 3 team fouls. Quigley with 2 of them.
Well, defensively, they haven't been great all year. So, again, I really like the intent from Seahawks to keep on penetrating, swinging the ball. They've done a good job early. A little bit of pressure here to burn some clock and creates a turnover.
Jamerson gets it inside, and he's fouled again. This one's going to be on Ross.
Yeah, and that's just the poor discipline, Johnny, from the Spartans, getting their mitts in all the time. And, you know, for the next 6 minutes, they're going to be shooting 2. And really, if the Seahawks play their cards right, they could really come out of this end of the first quarter up 10+ if they can just keep attacking.
No, that's what Jamerson does. He's an aggressive scorer for the North Gold Coast. One of the top scorers in the QBL competition. He's 3 of 3 from the free throw line here early. Spartans on 4 team fouls with 6:15 to go in the first quarter.
Andre Grenick cleans up the defensive ball.
Checking in for Spartans, Dylan Gray. He's got possession now for Southern Districts. Eustace has it, 6 on the shot clock. Working against Goldfinch, goes to his left. He's double teamed. Ross has it, has to get a shot up, and he finishes strong. Nice finish there from Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Really was going nowhere and bailed him out.
Jamerson spins inside, too strong, gets his own follow and puts it back in. He likes that matchup with King.
Yeah, he's really going at King early.
The Greenwich now with it. Now King. King on the left wing, finds Gray at the top. Driving on Lomakin, dumps it off. Ross loses it on the way up, but Greenwich recovers. There's 3 on the shot clock. Eustace has to get it off. His pass is stolen, though, by Quentin Campbell. Look at the big fella running the fast break.
That felt like the longest 24 ever.
Good ball movement. Campbell from the wing, 3-pointer short. Ross is fouled on the defensive rebound by Remy Lawyer. Just feels like Spartans, Dave, on the offensive end, really slow to get their offense set.
Yeah, they are. You're being a bit polite, mate. I think they look lost. Their guys are looking around, confused. Where do I go? Where does he go? And then in the end, the last couple of possessions, Eustace has had to try and do something to bail them out.
King going right at the defense, throws up an air ball, but tipped in by Greenwich.
Yeah, good job from Campbell, really good D. And Greenwich picking up a...
Jamerson inside, Campbell lost it. Jamerson, though, steals it, and he turns it over to Eustace. Eustace with the left-hand layup, it rolls off the rim. Now Jamerson goes to his left hand and loses it out of bounds. Bit sloppy from both teams here.
Yeah, a couple of poor turnovers.
Hey, looking at the turnover count for both teams, Spartans on 4. They don't have Seahawks for any, which I've just seen 3 in a row. Maybe my stats haven't refreshed in time. King was looking for the hammer, but he's fouled. That one's going to go against Jalen Russell for the Seahawks, and King going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots. On the season, he's a 75% free throw shooter.
I like it. I like it, Johnny.
Oh, he's looking for it.
King getting on the runway. Whew.
We've seen him put down a few hammers, at least in warm-ups. I don't know if we've seen it. We've seen a couple in-game ones.
Yeah, he had a couple in the earlier in the season. We had a couple of Spartan games.
King hit them both. Checking into the game, Robert McCowan for Eustace.
Pretty young group here now for the Spartans.
Jamerson inside, hits the layup plus the foul. It's a bit of love from former coach Ricardo Lawyer along the baseline.
One free throw.
And he's been impressive in transition, Jamerson. You just got to collapse on him, though, don't you?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the sea's parted for him every time he's got the ball.
well, they've got to do a better job of getting bodies in front of him. Obviously, he likes to drive versus shoot, so that's where they need to pack their D a bit better and put bodies in front of guys. And that's the challenge when you've got young guys. Unfortunately, a lot of the time, they've got to learn that craft a bit better.
Volkman wants it in the block. King, step back, three, hits the back of the rim. Offensive rebound, though, by Gray.
Horrible possession.
There's the pass to Volkman, keeps it high, spins away from the defense, and he'll get called for the 3 seconds.
Well, King should have sent it, passed it to him 5 times earlier when he had the post position, and then he just went and chucked up some rubbish jump shot.
That entry pass, it's a difficult angle, too, from the top of the key into the post.
Absolutely, Johnny. Just got to be frustrating because you've got bigs who are trying to give you a good target. Work hard, you got to reward them. Little inside-outside game.
King steps into a long 2, that's off. And now North Gold Coast looking to run with Jamerson. Hands off for Campbell. Russell jump shot is too strong. 15-12 the lead for North Gold Coast. 2:45 to go in the first. King spins baseline. Gets it out. McCowan's going to fire a 3. That one's too strong. Tipped around. King recovers. His jump shot's up and too strong as well. They're going to get Cameron Goldfinch. No, they're going to get it against Ben Volkman on the push for the rebound. His first, the team's 5th.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit this year. I think they've got to let the rebounding contest be a bit more of a rebounding contest. I mean, that's just 2 dudes going at the ball. I don't think anyone had an advantage.
Well, the interesting thing that I saw on that one, Dave, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Volkman had the position.
Yeah.
So how could he get called for a push? I don't understand. There was no one that was boxing him out.
I don't either. I think it was a rough call.
Goldfinch hits the free throw, putting his team up 4. Second one too strong, but an offensive rebound of Remy Lawyer.
Be interesting to see here how they roll with Jameson on the bench getting a breather.
Campbell goes at the defense, throws it up, gets it to fall, plus the foul. That's a tough matchup for Connor Ross, and Ross gets called for the personal. Campbell's got a bit of size and a lot of strength on Ross.
Yeah, good drive.
His second personal.
Campbell on the season from the free throw line is a 56% free throw shooter, and Volkman checks back in with 1 personal. Free throw is short. Greenwich loses the offensive rebound to Lawyer. Seahawks up 6. Lawyer gets inside, dumps it off. Russell lays it in. Nice pass there from Lawyer to Russell. Seahawks up 8. Bit aggressive there from Lomax. Did a good job staying in front, but just got a little extra touch on Philp there.
Call on number 2 for the Seahawks, Jesse Lomax. His first personal. 13 foul.
Volkman fouled inside.
Nice speed from Mitch Phil. Foul is called on number 2.
It's going to go against Lomax. That's the 4th team foul against North Gold Coast. Lomax second. Checking in for the Gold Coast is Laseli Tupu. And also checking back in is Sasha Lomakin. Philp throws it up. Greenwich can't finish, though. It's a good look, though, for Greenwich out of the baseline, out of bounds. Russell loses it, stripped by Gray.
Wow.
Spartans have numbers. Philp hands off for Volkman to lay it up and in.
Nice, nice layup, but gee, they missed a horrendous foul as Russell got chopped and the ball comes out.
Lawyer hits that open jumper. North Gold Coast maintaining an 8-point lead with about 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Greenwich banks one home. Lomakin's jumper is off. I know that's one of your pet peeves, Dave, that quick no pass, one shot possession.
Well, you know, it's just, again, it's not fatiguing the defense. It's not moving the ball. It's not including guys.
McCowan swatted by Lawyer.
I think he lined that up from yesterday.
Gray's going to fire a three. That's off. Lawyer with the defensive rebound.
Wow. An ugly 3 minutes here with the out of bounds. Thank goodness Jameson's checking back in.
Jameson back in for Russell. He's a big boy, Russell, isn't he?
He is, and good, you know, good young body. He's just going to learn, get experience.
So there's about a 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Got to think Spartan's going to bring it down as far as they can. Philp gets inside, layup is short. Volkman offensive rebound. His putback is off, but he's fouled.
Well, it's where they've got to have recognition, and this is from a young group, Johnny, but, you know, anyone knew that Philp was going to shoot the ball, right? So the other guys guarding McCowan in the corner or Gray in the other corner, you just got to help off that and take that away from Philp. And then, again, it was just so obvious that you've got to have recognition of who you're guarding, and then the first priority is stopping them. But if he's going to be the playmaker, then you can help off the corners because, you know, they're both youngsters who are earning or learning their trade, and I'd rather them shoot threes than Philp shoot threes or drive to the bucket.
Volkman goes 1 of 2. The deficit 5 for Spartans. Seahawks have 5 seconds to get a shot off. Jamerson gets inside, throws up a floater, and it's good to beat the buzzer. Jerron Jamerson gives the Seahawks a 7-point lead heading into the quarter-time break. If you're a North Gold Coast Seahawks fan, you're pretty happy with that first quarter of action, Dave.
Yeah, it was. Overall, they were pretty good. Moved the ball well. Jameson was really tough. And defensively, they've done a good job to contain Spartans mostly.
And Spartans are a bit disappointed there heading into the breakdown 7.
Well, they had some good moments where they were out in transition, sharing the ball, but unfortunately, they just get a bit lost. I mean, and if that's the case, if their offense breaks down, you know, just some motion principles. Move the ball side to side, reversal, put it on the deck, get to feet in the paint, pitch and you know, pitch the shooters and see what happens. But I don't know. Sometimes they just look really lost out there. And again, it's not like Seahawks is an elite defensive squad. They are sitting 14th in the league, so yeah, there should be opportunities for the Spartans.
Certainly will be. Let's see if they can get themselves back into this. The Spartans are down 7, 24-17. It's the quarter-time break. We'll take a break as well and come back with the second quarter of action. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at the start of the second quarter. It's a 7-point lead for the Seahawks over the Spartans, 24-17. Let's take a look at some of those statistics, Dave, after the first quarter.
Well, for the Spartans, Volkman 5 points, King with 4, Greenwich 4, and Ross with 2. So King started a little. Again, he's just relying on jump shots. I want to see him get on the rim and penetrate and use his speed and athleticism to really get on the rim and put pressure on the Seahawks, just exactly like Philp did. Just saying, good things happen when you penetrate feet in the paint. So if they continue to do that, because Philp and King are certainly capable.
Wide open 3. Good hesitation from Lawyer. He'll step into a 2. It's off, though.
But yeah, they started 7 of 21 for the first quarter, Johnny, and 5 turnovers, obviously.
Jamerson passes nearly stolen. They're going to say hit the bottom of the backboard. So they're going to say, all right, at first they signaled Spartans ball, but it's going to stay with North Gold Coast as the referees chat. They're going to say it was tipped by the Spartans into the bottom of the backboard.
Oh, okay, good. I was going to say, how did the Spartans get the ball back? I mean, how did Seahawks get the ball back?
Good chat, though. I'd like to see it's important for the teams to communicate, but also important for the referees to communicate.
Sure. Lukey Patrick all over the call there.
Here's Philp, hands off for King, goes right at the defense and lays it in.
There you go. We talked about it. Get on the rim.
It's a 2-point deficit now for Spartans. They've come out swinging here.
And they look good after they get some stops and build some pressure, get some consecutive stops in transition. It's just that, unfortunately, their defense has been pretty average most of the year, and they don't get the stops or the opportunities.
Turnover's not helping either, Dave, as Phil with another one there. Jamerson to Goldfinch, spotted by Greenwich, lets him know about it. And then King tries to throw one down, and he's off.
I like it. I like where we're at.
And then Lawyer's Lab swatted again by Greenwich. Andre Greenwich looking like Minute Bull out there.
I don't know what Benny Volkman's doing. He just missed the lob of the season opportunity. I don't know how he didn't see King begging for the ball.
And Campbell finally gets a shot to fall for either team with the 3. The lead back up to 7 for the North Gold Coast.
But a Greenwich with the defensive plays of the season, back-to-back blocks.
That one is going on my highlight reel. That block on Goldfinch was a beauty.
I like Goldfinch. He went at him. Good on you. I don't know how bouncy Goldfinch is.
He was up there, but Greenwich just absolutely destroyed him at the rim. I have a feeling that Cameron Goldfinch, if he gets another opportunity, he'll be going right back at him.
I hope so.
Quigley back on the floor for the Spartans. Jordy Anger out there for North Gold Coast. Eustace, a lot of contact. He gets it to fall.
Normally I like a no call, but for me, that was just a bulldoze. Clear offensive. But anyway.
Yeah, probably could have used a call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was a foul on somebody.
Charge. Yeah. Definitely a charge.
For sure.
Philp inside of Greenwich. Nice inside-out pass to Quigley. Baseline jumpers and air ball. King gets it back, and he'll put it down with 2 hands.
King finishes with authority.
Well, Greenwich is giving him a good punch here off the bench. On the glass, competing hard, blocking shots, rebounding.
Yeah, he's pretty athletic at Greenwich. He was throwing down some nice warm-up dunks, too, and we saw him get those couple of blocks. Better energy from the Spartans here in the second. They're down 5. Then they're going to get a foul call. They're going to give that one to Jordy Anger.
His first personal, second team foul. Subs for the Seahawks. Jalen Russell in for Quentin Campbell.
Jalen Russell back in. Quentin Campbell getting a breather. And McCowan checks in for Greenwich.
Did we ever find out what was wrong with Magne, gents? 8 games for the season, shut down. Was it an injury or what particular injury?
I don't have an injury status. I To be honest with you, I don't know. I think it was a shoulder. That's the last I had heard.
And then Gibbo only had 3 games for them as well.
There's, those Spartans, it's been a rough season. They definitely had a lot of injuries, none more so than Gibson and also Magne, 2 of their key players. And when you bring in players like that, you want to build around those guys. You don't have them for much of the season. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's interesting as to why they didn't try and replace them, because a lot of the guys are on game fees, Johnny. So they'll get their some of the NBL type talent is on game fees.
So per game?
Yeah, per game. So if Will and Gibbo didn't play a great deal, then in theory they should have had some budget to go and replace them.
Not sure about that, Dave, but North Gold Coast, not sure about how they're playing at the moment. They're only up 2. They're going to take a timeout, so we'll take one as well. Got just under 6 minutes to go in the first half of your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium. Good time out there by the North Gold Coast as Spartans have chipped away their deficit. They're only down 2, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, Campbell and Jameson have been really terrific. 24 points for the Seahawks, and that's pretty much most of their offense. There
Russell.
you go. Good target, big fella.
And a good finish there with the right-handed hook shot.
He was a bit late on getting his mitts up to give him a good target, but Anger hit him for a good pass. And, just good basketball inside, outside.
Eustace going to step back and fire the jump shot. That's good.
Jared Eustace on a sweet spin move.
Jamerson, good ball movement. North Gold Coast going to bring it back out, though. Lamakin open for 3. His off. Nice offensive rebound and put back by Russell, plus the foul. Great minutes here for Jalen Russell coming off the bench for the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Again, just, playing his role. That's the key thing, is coming in, offensive rebounding, moving his feet.
There was a social media post from LeBron James earlier this week. He's been quite involved with his son's AAU program, and it was a pregame talk he gave to the team talking about knowing your role and playing to your role. How important is that, Dave, in the game of basketball?
Well, I think it's super important, and I'd argue that the best coaches, that's what they do really well, is they really frame up the roles for the guys. Not everyone is a ball handler, not everyone's a playmaker, not everyone is going to be a scorer. If that means you're the best screen setter on your team and a great defender and you know the offense, then you add value. What's the lob?
Lawyer throws it up. Goldfinch.
What's the bad lob? I should have said. But I like the idea. Yeah, absolutely. And so it's just really giving the guys clear roles so they can have an opportunity to have success. When they know what's expected, then equally they know how they're going to be measured.
How do you feel, though, even at a level of like an under 16s or an under 14s, do you think roles play an important part?
Yeah, absolutely. Even more so, I'd argue, because the kids need instruction. Campbell, baseline.
One-handed hammer. Campbell got the crowd into it.
Well, Campbell's got 15 early here in the first half.
Good answer there.
Which is almost his season average. So Campbell with a Big first half.
Yeah, it was a good answer by Quinn Howell with the 3. Here's Russell going right at the defense. Good contest from Volkman.
From Ben Volkman.
Just want to point out too, the Seahawks have definitely brought a crowd and a half with them as well. It seems to be more Seahawks supporters in the stadium than Spartans supporters.
Yeah, I'd agree, Riggs.
Volkman inside. Somehow Howell recovers back to Volkman, who can't finish, but he's fouled by Russell.
Yeah, nice pass from Phil. Smart pass.
It's his second personal on Russell. Stephen Kerr going to check in for Jalen Russell. It's a pretty big team. They have good depth.
I was just going to say, I didn't realize how big Russell is, but Stevie Kerr, I think he's like 6'9". And I think Russell looked bigger than him. So
A little bit, maybe an inch or 2 on him.
What's Volkman these days?
6'8", right?
Yeah, maybe bigger. Well, hang on, what's the old stat sheet say? What's a bit inconsistent?
I still don't know my centimeters.
It says 205.
Yeah, 205. What's that? That's probably 6'9".
Volkman goes 1 of 2. His team's down 4. We're under 4 to go in the first half. Campbell has it on the wing, looking inside for Kurt. It's not there.
Nice
now
rip.
Anger.
Good take. White ball.
As a kick ball by Volkman. I don't think it was intentional, but it's going to stay with Seahawks.
Yeah, good rip and go from Anger. I really like that. And too many guys don't do that off that catch. Sometimes you can get a real nice advantage just as soon as you get the ball, put it on the deck. As long as you obviously are controlled, then sometimes you can get in trouble looking for an offensive. But if you can get that really that running start, it can really make an advantage of beating your guy and then making the next decision.
Yeah, it's just a poor finish, though, unfortunately, for
Yeah,
Anger.
well, it was well contested, too. Volkman had good help and he came in, contested the ball.
Kerr has it now.
Well, Stevie Kerr's been floating around the league a little while.
Yeah, we know he played for the Pirates a couple seasons ago.
He did.
Philp has it with 12 on the shot clock. Ross sets the screen. Reversal to King, top of the key 3 is good. It's a 1-point lead now for the Seahawks as Spartans continue their fight back. Lawyer fouled by Philp. Only the second team foul of the quarter for Spartans, and that's going to be Philp's second personal. Lomakin and Jemerson check back in. Goldfinch and Anger getting a breather. It is a pretty young team, the North Gold Coast Seahawks, isn't it, Dave?
It is. I'm just having a look. They say Goldfinch is 6'6".
Kerr on the baseline, puts it up, and gets it to fall.
Nice quick move.
Good one.
Howell has it. He nearly has it stolen. Now Greenwich with 6 on the shot clock, out to Volkman. Skips it to Howell. Baseline jump shot is an air ball. Lomakin inside for Kerr.
Nice job, Stevie Kerr. Good seal. And is rewarded.
Number 13, Ben Volkman.
It's going to be Volkman's second personal, the third team foul against the Spartans. 2:20 to go in the first half. It's a 3-point game.
I think, regardless of the new three-point world that Steph Curry's created, there's still nothing wrong with good rim run action and establishing post presence as an early transition opportunity.
It also creates secondary transition opportunities.
Absolutely. Greenwich with a careless turnover.
Going to get a Greenwich for the defensive foul, trying to pick up the charge. That's a Greenwich's second personal, the fourth team foul against Spartans in the quarter.
Yeah, he was trying to do the right thing.
Rob McCowan and Dylan Gray getting set to check back in.
Subs for the Spartans, Mitch Philp.
Philp and Greenwich going to get a breather. Greenwich doesn't look too well. I think he got hit in the nether regions. You're a brave man to step in to take a charge anytime, but that was right open in the open court in transition.
He was coming at you. Yeah.
And Campbell is a solid 6'7". He's got to be about 210, 215 pounds, I'm talking.
Yeah.
And Campbell's got the jump shot going on. That was a deep two. Seahawks up 5.
Kilos here, Johnny. Kilos, mate. Work with us, okay?
I'm trying, man. It's been 10 years. I still don't get it.
What are you going to help out our audience, mate? Just pretty much divide by 2, right? Is that that's a simple equation?
Something like that. My maths was never my strong suit, though, Dave. Volkman misses. Campbell gets the rebound. And North Gold Coast with an opportunity to increase their lead. Lawyer flips one up, and Volkman comes down with the rebound.
I'm liking the Kerr-Volkman battle right now.
Yeah, they're definitely battling each other. Very physical, a lot of pushing and shoving. Both players looking to establish themselves early.
Well, Kerr's looking a little gassed too. I'm not sure if he's got a minute 4 left in him, but he's done a good job in these last few minutes of exactly what we talked about, Johnny, playing your role, coming in, being effective.
Gray kicks it out. McCowan has to fire the 3. It's off. Tipped around, and Gray steals it.
Good job from Gray.
Under a minute to go in the half. Spartans down 5. Howell from the wing. 3-pointer hits the back of the rim. See if North Gold Coast goes for the 2 for 1. Jamerson goes to his left hand and loses it, but there's a foul on the floor. They're going to give that one to Quinn Howell. That's the 15th foul on Spartans, so that's going to be 2 free throws for Jaron Jamerson.
Well, he's got to. I'm not saying guarding Jamerson is an easy task, but he's got to work harder and moving his feet and putting his body on the line, beating him to the spot versus having the little hack.
Goldfinch checks in for Lomakin. Jamerson at the free throw line for 2 shots. Short on the first. Second one is good. A bit of pressure here from the Seahawks. Howell goes inside to Volkman, finds a cutting Gray, flips it up and in, plus the foul. That's a great finish there from Gray.
Yeah,
through the contact.
It wasn't just really simple offense. They had a pick and roll where the Seahawks switched. Volkman looking to punish Lawyer, had Lawyer on his back, and Gray with a nice cut straight down the pipes.
Yeah, and a good look from Volkman on the dish as well.
Yeah, he's been passing the ball well out of the block.
Gray hits the free throw, the deficit 3, and North Gold Coast can hold for the final shot of the half.
Bit like Johnson last week, hey, Johnny? Diamond up for the trip dub.
Not too bad. Let's see what North Gold Coast runs here.
I think he had 20 boards last night, or the night before.
Lawyer goes inside, Kerr fading away, bank shot is off. Tipped around, McCowan has it. He gets a shot, no he doesn't. Tries to go ahead to Ross. I don't think it would have counted anyway. So at the halftime break, it's North Gold Coast 45, Southern Districts 42. Not a bad first half of action, Dave. 3-point lead for North Gold Coast. They probably expected to be a little more heading into the big break.
Yeah, they have, and I think some of their was just defensive breakdowns with the Seahawks. Just they lost a couple of guys on some of that swinging action that the Spartans run baseline. But again, I think Spartans did a good job to fight back and be around the hunt. So looking forward to the second half.
Hey, we mentioned that this game is really for the wooden spoon. You look at the other games today, and it looks like it's going to be Logan Thunder getting a win up in Gladstone. They're up 104-92 at the moment, but the game of the day, really, and the final game that will have a huge impact on the finals for the men's competition is the Gold Coast Rollers hosting the Toowoomba Mountaineers. If Toowoomba can get that win, there's a four-way tie at 8-10 for that 8th spot on the ladder. Currently with 3:20 to go in the second period, it's Gold Coast leading 38-36. Gold Coast gets the win, they're in. It's simple, Dave, but if Toowoomba is able to get that win, I don't know who moves on.
Yeah, really tough. I want to see Toowoomba win just to make it interesting.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. But
yeah, I think Gold Coast has the best percentage, but I'm not exactly sure on the whole splits and how they do the tiebreaker and all that kind of stuff at QBL.
I don't know either. We didn't get the breakdown from our guys over at BQ, so hopefully once the results occur, we'll get the update on who's in the finals. Yeah. But we will keep an eye on that one down at the Gold Coast. It is the North Gold Coast Seahawks leading the Southern District Spartans, though, at the half, 45-42. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some statistics in the second half of action here from Roland Cowan Stadium in Carina in your QBL Game of the Week, presented by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium. It is halftime. It's a 3-point lead for the North Gold Coast Seahawks over the Southwest Metro Pirates. Pretty good first half of action from both teams, Dave. Turnovers hurting both clubs, though, and you look at the statistics, it was a, let's have a look. So you got 8 turnovers for Spartans and then 11 for North Gold Coast. Leading the way for the Seahawks was Quentin Campbell. He had 17 points. He was 8 of 12 from the field. Pretty impressive performance from Campbell there. He was shooting the ball really well, 1 of 3 from 3. Jamerson has 12, and then you got a couple other players with 5 in Goldfinch and 7 from Russell off the bench.
Well, I just love the efficiency too, Johnny. It was just smart shots. See what the defense presented, and away we go. But good to see the referees decked out in the new digs too, Johnny. Reliable insurance. Give them a call. 32524397. Official QBL referee sponsors.
Yeah, I wonder what the connection is to the referees.
Lukey Patrick, he's your
It's
guy.
his company.
I was just kidding. I was just putting it out there for you. You guys knocked it out of the park.
Also the employment place of Alex McEwen, another QBL referee.
There you go.
Lawyer hits a 3.
Well, I use Lukey for my business insurance, so I can tell you he does a good job.
6 points now, the lead for North Gold Coast. Quigley's turnaround is short. Goldfinch hands off for Lawyer. Campbell uses the pump fake, stops, pops, and rattles one home.
Nice. And Spartans have done this, Johnny, I think the last 5 weeks. Feels like we've been here for 5 weeks, but I think it's 3 in a row. They come out and they run the first couple, 2 to 3 sets beautifully, and then it falls away into nothingness. So hopefully in this second half, they can really work hard on trying to run their offense and get some easy opportunities. And let the offense create opportunities instead of relying on the likes of Philp and King and Eustace. The right idea from Philp, just missed Volkman under the bucket.
That 3-pointer was well off. Philp hands off for Eustace. It's an 8-point lead here for the Seahawks. Greenwich, no look to King. Excuse me, that was Philp. King layup is off.
Well,
they thought it was a foul.
Well, I think Jamerson got a piece of it.
Philp gets called for the reach-in. Third personal on Philp. First team foul for Spartans.
Number 6 for Spartans. Miss Philp is third personal. First team foul for the quarter.
The poor floor wiper. Looks like she's got a big knee brace on. Could they have found a healthy young lass? Crikey.
Yeah, she's definitely limping around there with the big brace. Goldfinch steps into an open 3. It's too strong.
Sean King with a defensive ball.
And there's, you know, and this will come with the Seahawks as well. Just some of that maturity of playing QBL, some of the quick looks, and on that example, a couple of the poor defensive communication. Again, what they were doing on screens, they kind of did nothing, and Eustace just walked in for an easy 2.
Jamerson from the corner, 3-pointer, rattles home. Jaron Jameson increased the Seahawks lead to 9. Volkman goes backdoor. It's too strong for King. Right idea, wrong execution.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't there, really. I mean, if I'm Volkman, I fake it and maybe spin inside.
Well, I think it's all about timing as well, Johnny, and King's got to set up his man as well. So I mean, King is fast enough to backdoor anyone. So I think they've just got to try and set it up. I mean, I didn't mind the look.
Eustace, reverse layup is good. Bit of magic there from Eustace. Cuts the Spartans deficit to 7. And a turnover from the Seahawks. Eustace, he'll pull up for the jumper. It's too strong. Lomakin comes down with it. Jamerson gets inside. Layup is off, but he's fouled.
Well, he's been tough to cover. I think if we saw him earlier, we would have given him a bit more love, Johnny, on the awards. But he's been terrific today.
Zach, that was it was a slow, long first step, but gee, it was quick once he got there.
Yeah, I mean, he blew by Greenwich and was on the rim. It's always interesting to see how the imports go their first year out and then how some of the more wealthy clubs, let's call it, go and pick them up and so forth. I wonder if the Bows man is going to be somewhere other than Toowoomba next year.
Well, remember when we talked to Damon Bozeman, he was telling us that he came up to the QBL on the recommendation of Melbourne United head coach Dean Vickerman. And he thought it was a good opportunity for him to come up here, and he's obviously rewarded Toowoomba with an excellent season. Made both of our all QBL 5 teams.
Yeah.
Eustace jumper is too strong. Goldfinch from the elbow. Jumper is off, and Quigley gets called for his 4th personal. It's the 3rd team foul on Spartans. Connor Ross has to check in for the captain, Dan Quigley. Quigley might still have his sea legs underneath him, and he only just recently got back from the honeymoon.
Well, he kind of got hung up on the screen, which I think he was a bit dirty at, but I think the screen looked good to me. He just misread it, and then he was came over the top and just contested it. But Goldfish certainly is long as well. As I said, he's long and he shoots it quite high, a bit Abercrombie-ish.
First one from Goldfinch is good. At halftime of that Gold Coast Rollers Toowoomba Mountaineers game, it's 46-6, the Gold Coast up at the big break. I think as we said, in Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, yeah.
I think as we said, Gold Coast wins, they're in.
Well, you know, watch out for the motivated Gold Coast. The last couple of wins of the season, and they're in the playoffs if they can jag it. And then they'll book themselves a flight to Mackay. But they're in form.
In form, dangerous squad, very deep, a lot of talent there.
Well, let's be honest. We said earlier that they've probably got one of the deepest squads in the league. So I mean, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round matchup, especially if they're getting hot at the right time of the year.
Sean King glides to the basket for 2.
Well, I'm pretty sure if Gold Coast wins, they're in at the 8th spot, and they would head up to Mackay to take on the Meteors. Meteors, the minor premier winners. Goldfinch gets a lay-in. Lawyer.
Sorry, Johnny.
You go.
I was going to say, it'd be interesting to see what the Mackay record's been over the last, 5 to 7 years as they've really turned that program into a beast. And I've got to think there's a lot of minor premierships in there. Obviously, Townsville has had a couple as well. They've been really good the last few years in particular.
Well, I read an article on the Pick and Roll website by our friend Rowan Anderson, and he interviewed both Mick and Chris Cedar for the article, and Chris Cedar gave Joel Kalu a lot of credit for building that culture up there at Mackay. And it's been a couple years since we saw Joel at the Realm up there, but they've really maintained that culture and continue to be one of the top programs in the QBL.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the challenge for them is getting enough bench guys, and when I say that, I mean local talent to augment their stars. I mean, they're always going to get their 2, 3, 4 studs, which is pretty easy to do with their budget, of course. But it's been good to see their role players still step up and chip in, and they really, we talked about it a couple of times, they know their role, and they do a really good job, the Mackay bench in particular. So I think that's why they've been one of the best programs the last few years.
a lot of people down south where we are, Dave, talk about, if they had the budget of a Mackay or a Townsville, surely they'd be winning as well. But how important is that culture that those programs have built? I think it's easy to say, yeah, if you gave me the money, I could do the same thing. But it's a lot about the culture in those programs as well, Mackay, Townsville.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, and when they keep on talking about the alleged insane budgets, I mean, the imports are the imports. So they're going to, maybe those regional towns can pay a little bit more. But I'd argue that it's not a huge difference these days, Johnny. I mean, you've seen the likes of, what the Caps try and pay to put guys on the floor and teams like that locally, Gold Coast, they paid I don't care what they say, they've got to pay a mozza for that squad. So, I think that I agree. The culture of the Townsvilles and Mackays, and even Rocky in recent years, not so much, but previously, that's absolutely, they've done a really good job, those guys. And Carlu and Anderson and Coach Tweedy, and now Trigar's taken over from Joel up there in Mackay. And I think he's done a really good job, Trigger.
And I think they're types of programs that a new club like North Gold Coast would want to emulate, both on the court but off the court as well, to build that success, a sustainable success.
Yeah, and
it's one thing to have one-offs, but you want to do it sustainably year in, year out.
Well, it is, and I think you need, you really need strong leadership from the top, and I think that's where some of the, in my opinion, some of the SEQ teams struggle, because they always worry about tomorrow, and then your coach comes in and he's too concerned with his reputation versus building a program. And so I really hope, and my advice to this Seahawks program is, again, develop some of your own kids, augment that with a couple of stars, and then in a couple of years you'll be okay. It's plain and simple. So,
and that's what they've done this season.
Yeah.
You look at the roster, and it is a majority of their local talent. A lot of the guys from the SBL made the move up to the QBL, and that's a big jump, as we said. But you look in year one, and I think you can't just judge year one for the North Gold Coast on record alone. I think you've seen a week in, week out improvement, which is what you want in a young program.
Yeah, and we talked about it. First 12, 1-11. Second, last 5, 2-3. So they've done a good job, and they've been competitive in some of those tough losses as well in the last few months. So that's the progression. I mean, the 2 or 3 coach thing obviously is not ideal. So I think it's for the Seahawks finding out who their coach is going to be, whether it's the current coach or someone else, and give them a couple of years to again build a culture, build a squad.
Well, they've recently announced that Coach Tyrus will maintain the coaching as Jamerson blocks a king dunk.
Wow.
But a good follow there by Connor Ross. That's the 3rd block dunk that we've seen in the one game. But just getting back to it, North Gold Coast recently announced on social media that Coach Tyrus will be back next season. So current coach will return, which helps with the culture that you're trying to establish and that consistency across a program.
Yeah, that Jameson, that was an impressive block. I mean, King really lined that up.
We've seen a couple dunks, but we've seen a couple of people go right at each other. Someone's going to get hammered on.
Ooh,
Jamerson, tough spill there. A lot of that was from his contact from his own teammate. Looks like he's okay, a little winded, but he's going to get himself up off the ground and try and walk it off.
Subs for the Seahawks. Jesse Lomax sits down.
Lomax checks out, and Connor Nirazuka checks in.
I wonder if photographer extraordinaire Ross Barton was all over that. That would have made a couple of interesting shots if he snapped them at the right time.
We'll have to touch base with Ross afterwards. He's on the right end of the court, that's for sure.
He was.
Philp at the free throw line for 2 shots. His team's down 3. They both fall for Philp. It's now a 1-point lead for the Seahawks. Spartans done a good job here in the 3rd quarter to get themselves within 1. Lawyer too strong. Jamerson offensive rebound. Putback's good.
2 points.
Well, the Spartans went to a zone and there was a lot of noise, wasn't a lot of technique. That just was really easy for the Seahawks.
King gets inside. Floater is no good. Tipped up by Ross, and that misses as well. Lawyer leaking out. Puts it up for Goldfinch. Layup is off.
Jared Eustace with the defensive board.
It's a 4-on-2, and Eustace fouled by Remy Lawyer. It's going to be 2 shots for Jared Eustace.
A foul is called on number 3, Remy Lawyer. His 4th personal.
Is that a bit generous? 2 shots?
Jared Eustace will
Team
go to the
fouls.
line to shoot
Oh,
2
okay.
free throws.
I was going to say, wow.
Remy sits down.
That's a interpretation and a half.
Well, he was making his move to the basket. He
well,
picked up his dribble.
Well, hey, listen, I hear different stories all the time on that one, Johnny.
Well,
But
Regan, give us the breakdown. When is it a shooting foul, when it's not?
The active shooting commences on a drive to the basket the minute the ball is picked up.
that's what I think,
Yeah.
but sometimes referees want to argue with that. Anyway.
Well, Eustace definitely picked it up and was
How about
making
this?
his move to
How
the
about this
basket.
one, Riggs? If I'm in the key, right, like holding a post position, and I want to get out to avoid a 3-second call,
Yep.
can I exit on the baseline and then duck back in?
As in out of bounds?
Yeah.
No.
Can't do that.
No. Technically speaking, that's actually a technical foul. You're not allowed to leave the playing area to avoid defenders or a violation.
Really?
Yeah, technically. I highly doubt any referee would ever call that, but that is the technical ruling.
King forcing his way to the basket's fouled. So he's going to go to the line for a couple of shots. These 2 free throws can tie the game for the Spartans.
His first personal.
I think King's got his standard third quarter fire going, Johnny. Every third quarter, King has been really impressive in the games we've called, and again, he's done a good job of being. I think it's just the aggression. For me, he needs to watch the third quarter of every tape and say, this is how you should be playing the whole game, mate.
One of 2 for Deshaun
Second free
King.
throw's good. It's back
Now
to
1-point deficit for Spartans. And there's Zuka on the wing. Goes to Russell at the free throw line. Lomakin gets inside, floats one up. It's good, plus the foul.
Great drive.
2 points. Count.
And that's a real skill, Dave. Being able to absorb the contact, leave your feet, kind of hang in the air a bit and get that bank to fall. That was a great finish.
Yeah, it really was. And Greenwich didn't do a lot wrong, but just a little guy, too fast for him.
Lomakin completes a 3-point play. So teams really just trading buckets here at the moment. King driving baseline, goes rejected by Jamerson. Philp recovers.
Block party here at Carina. And they've been good blocks too, Johnny.
Ross baseline jumper is off. Lomakin defensive rebound.
NBN highlight package is going to be full of them this week, John.
Lomakin flips one up, that's off. Goldfinch follows, he misses as well.
Comes up with the defensive board.
The Greenwich skips ahead for Eustace. It's too far and low for Eustace to handle. Stephen Kerr going to check back in for Jalen Russell. And Rob McCowan checking in for Andre Greenwich.
Comes in for Andre Greenwich. Jalen Russell sits down for the visitors. Stephen Keir into the game.
Goldfinch short on the layup attempt, and then Kerr going to get called for the foul, I think.
2 shots.
The foul's called on number 9. Rob
No, they're going to give it to Rob McCowan, fouling Kerr.
will go to the free throw line.
So that's the 15th foul for Spartans, and Kerr going to go to the free throw line for 2.
Number 11, Kieran Minto into the game for the first time this afternoon.
And Minto just checks in for the first time. Jaron Jameson getting a breather with 2 to go in the third. His team up 4. Kerr missed them both.
Ross picks up the second of the missed free throws.
Minto gets called for the blocking foul on Philp. Philp will go to the free throw line for a couple of shots.
15th foul, and Mitch Philp will go to the line in the bonus. Second free throw is good from Mitch Philp.
3-point lead for the Seahawks. Minute 40 now to go. McCowan in the corner, rattles home a three. Teams are trading buckets and calling it a 2. 64-61 the lead. Kerr goes right at Ross.
Bravo.
Gets called for steps.
I think they need to, you know, Philp needs to get a little bit more involved as well. 21 minutes, only 4 attempts. Has got 7 helpers and 6 turnovers, but really they really need his playmaking. Obviously, he's still a solid player who's averaged 14 for the season, but they just need some more offense out of him in this fourth quarter. A little bit more of Eustace like that.
Well, that three-pointer ties it up at 64 with under a minute to go. Spartans coming to life here in the third. Walmakin looking to answer with his own three, hits the back of the rim.
Mitch Philp with the defensive board.
Eustace takes the handoff from Philp. Eustace gets inside, recovers, and he's fouled by Stephen Kerr. Really looks like they made a concerted effort to use Eustace a lot more this afternoon, Dave.
Yeah, I think, again, still only 11 shots for him, but he's been efficient. 17 points, 6 of 12. Campbell's sat for a while too, Johnny. I mean, how many fouls did he have?
He's got 4.
He does have 4, yeah.
Eustace hits them both, so Spartans take the 2-point lead now. Got about 30 seconds to go in the third. Goldfinch gonna fire a deep 3. That hits the front of the rim. And Spartans can hold for the final shot of the third. Eustace crosses over to his left, puts up the 3-point shot. It's off. Probably not what the Spartans wanted, but they got what they wanted, which is to retake the lead 66-64 heading into the fourth quarter of action. Pretty good third quarter there from Spartans, Dave, to retake the lead.
Yeah, they did, and I think primarily that was, you know, Eustace was good for them, and King again was super aggressive. He's got 16 points, Eustace with 19, and Greenwich 7 points as well. So Spartans have did a good job by winning the third quarter and setting themselves up to have a positive finish.
Take a quick look at the other score that everyone's looking at. The Gold Coast Rollers currently up by 13, 71-58 with 1:40 to go in the third. If they win that one, they'll lock in that 8th spot and head up to Mackay to take on the Meteors next weekend in the quarterfinals. It is the quarter time break. We'll take one. We'll come back with the final quarter of action and some statistics here. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium, 66-64. Spartans up 2 over the North Gold Coast Seahawks. It was a different Spartans we saw in that third, Dave. What did they do in that quarter to take that 2-point lead?
Well, I just think they didn't settle, and they were aggressive. Their spacing was good, and that's exactly what the Seahawks did poorly. Then they just settled for jump shots a lot. They need to keep on penetrating, whether it's Lomakin or Goldfinch or Jamison. It's just, again, swing the ball and look to put the Spartans at pressure on the rim. That's what has held them well in the first half.
Philp misses, Volkman finishes. It's now up to 4 for Spartans.
Geez, defensively in the pick and roll, Seahawks have been average all day long. Just really poor communication. I don't know they know what they're trying to do out of it.
Campbell's back on the court. His 3-point shot is off for Seahawks. And Eustace grabs the D-board. Philp is open, wing 3 is up and good. 7-point lead now for Spartans. Jamison will shoot a jump shot that's short, gets his own rebound and puts it down strong. That was a hammer from Jaron Jamison.
Well, if the Seahawks can't clean their offense up, it's handy having that Jamison guy, but offensively they've looked really shaky the last 3 or 4 minutes in particular. One out stuff, one pass shot, there's another one. That's got to be the 5th in a row where it's been a one pass jack.
And then you see Spartans just daring the North Gold Coast to shoot it.
Well, sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times in this league, there's a reason why you're open. So, and they're just baiting the Seahawks into just one pass, jack, jump shot. And it's working. They've built a nice lead now. It's been all Spartans the last 5 minutes.
Philp gets inside, finds McCowan. Reverse layup is way off.
Wow. He missed everything from a foot.
Remy Lawyer fires a 3. That rattles home for North Gold Coast. Seahawks faithful back into this.
Yeah, they really needed that bucket. But just look here, Johnny, there's just, really poor communication for me from the Seahawks.
Jamerson gets called for the reach-in foul.
Number 1.
When you say poor communication, there's very little, if any, defensive communication coming out of the Seahawks.
No, there's none. I mean, they haven't got their hands up. They're not being real verbal either. So, and again, their pick and roll has been average all game.
There's 10 on the shot clock for Spartans.
Interesting song selection from the Spartans, TJ.
Philp misses. Campbell with the defensive rebound. Lawyer thought about it. Now Goldfinch along the baseline. He's fouled.
Again, nice job getting the Spartans guys pedaling backwards and putting pressure on them.
That goes against Eustace, his second personal, the first team foul on Spartans. Walmakin again open for 3. That one's too strong. Tipped up by Lawyer. Volkman grabs the D-board, though.
Just bad shot.
Eustace jump shot too strong. Jamerson gets it. He's off and running. Campbell in the corner, 3-pointer. It's the back of the rim. Eustace has it now. He's going to go right at the rim to lay it in.
Eustace with the fast break layup.
6 points the lead for Spartans. Lawyer stripped out of bounds off of Remy Lawyer. Good hands there by Greenwich.
This is where they need a little timeout, I feel. Have a chat about their strategy, because I think it's not looking pretty for the Seahawks to start the 4th quarter.
King finds Eustace. Gets to the rim, can't finish, but he's fouled. That's going to go against Quentin Campbell, I think.
Goes to the rack again.
If it is, that's his 5th, and he's done.
He's going to the free throw line. That foul is called on 22, Quentin Campbell.
That's his 5th. It is done for Quentin Campbell.
That's all he will see for
Well, that just made it a whole lot harder for the Seahawks as they do take a timeout.
Yeah, good timeout there for North Gold Coast. We'll take one as well. 6:45 to go in the game. Spartans up 6 of your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Eustace at the free throw line for 2 shots, hits the first. So the lead pushes out to 7 for Districts. Eustace hits them both, so it's 8. Taking a look at that other game that really counts for that 8th spot, Gold Coast Rollers have pulled out to a huge 19-point lead as Cameron Goldfinch finally gets a 3 to fall here in Roland Cowan Stadium. King, good contest there by Kerr. Nice follow, though, by Volkman.
Well, that's the thing when they got beat on the rotation. Kerr did a good job of helping, but no one helped him, and Volkman had an opportunity to hit the glass.
Goldfinch loses it. It goes out of bounds off of the hands of the Spartans, so it's going to stay with Seahawks. Goldfinch misses, gets his own rebound. Teardrop falls for Cameron Goldfinch. It's on the defensive end, though, where North Gold Coast needs a few stops.
He's had a bit of a rough day, Goldfinch, but I really like him. He's a guy that can continue to work on his craft.
Eustace finds Volkman, who's fouled by Jamerson.
Great pass from Eustace, and this is where we talk, Johnny, about that decommunication. And this is the last 2 possessions. Seahawks done a poor job on the rotation, and that's where they've been caught. It's only a two bucket game, so they're not out of it at all. Just got to clean up some stuff in this last 5 minutes.
Volkman short on the first attempt. And he misses the second, but winds up with his own rebound. Eustace's pass goes out of bounds. That's a miscommunication there between Eustace and Volkman. Jamerson has it at the elbow. Flips it up and in. Wanted the end one.
Well, he's been really quiet, Johnny. He had 15 first half points, and that's only his second bucket in the second half.
It's a 3-point lead for Spartans. Eustace has it on the wing with 7 on the shot clock. Step back, fires a 3. It's off the back of the rim. Lawyer tips it to Jamerson. Malmakin hands it off for Goldfinch. Goldfinch drives to the basket and lays it in. It's now a 1-point lead.
Yeah, nice take. Good patience from the Seahawks too.
That was the key there, is they had a couple of opportunities, made the extra pass.
Phil from the corner, his three is off the side of the rim. North Gold Coast has it with an opportunity to take the lead. Lawyer looked like he was stripped, but they got the Sean King for the reach-in.
I love it. I love it, our players try and say, I'm innocent, Your Honour. And the three coaching staff for Spartans are like, come on, man. Of course it's a foul.
I'm sure Dave would never do that.
No.
Never plead his innocence.
Maybe younger Dave, you know, like.
You're a young guy, Dave. Jamerson from the elbow. That's way short. Goldfinch steps into a long two. That hits the side of the rim and off. Quigley hands off for King. King gonna clear out. He's got Lawyer on him, steps back, fires the wing three. That hits the back of the rim. Offensive rebound, Volkman. Eustace fouled on his way to the bucket.
Well, good hand from Lawyer. I think that was well defended. But got to box out.
Hey, you forced the Spartans to take a tough wing shot.
Absolutely. Lawyer did a good job, contained him. Good hand to contest. And, well, I guess it was Russell's assignment on Volkman. They're the ones that lose your games, you know, that's big possessions. So not only do you not get the ball, now you've got another foul. And Eustace goes to the line and he makes one, luckily.
It's a 2-point lead.
For the Seahawks fans.
Jamerson leaves his feet. Russell from the free throw line ties the game at 80.
We're all tied up with 3:20 to play in the regular season.
We're knotted at 80, 3 minutes to go in both these teams' seasons. And then Jamerson gets called again for the reach-in foul.
I don't know what he's trying to steal the ball for. Just contain your man.
He was in good position too.
And you're sending King to the line. And now you're in the bonus.
And we're checking down the coast with the Gold Coast Rollers and the Toowoomba Mountaineers, Dave. 5:15 to go in that one. And Gold Coast up 25. Looks like they're on their way to play finals bell.
Yeah, well, watch out for the 8 seed.
Well, we saw last year Rocky snuck in on the 8 seed and came into Auchenflower to knock out the minor premiers.
Yeah.
So it's certainly possible. Spartans are up 2. Those 2 free throws from King. Russell finds Lomakin inside. Jamerson. He's fouled on his way to the basket. Are they going to count Are they going to count it? No. No basket, but the foul on the floor.
Good call. Good call.
So if they call it no basket, then it can't be shooting. Is that what it is?
Well, unless it's team fouls.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the situation. You know, if it's the second action where the ball goes in, you can cancel the second action, but still, like, you know, if I'm going up for a foul and get swiped and miss, and then someone else puts it in, yeah, different situations, but that was the right call.
Regan Baker, our former QBL referee,
wow,
giving us the breakdown. Goldfinch well short on his 3.
Well, I think they can get a better shot than that. Really tough shot. Coming off the screen, loading up.
It's going to be a tough home at 2 minutes for the Spartans as well, because this is feeling like a Seahawks home atmosphere.
Phil hits that tough layup. And the lead is 4 for Spartans. Jamerson loses it. Eustace comes up with it. Eustace layup swatted by Jamerson.
Saw that coming.
Yeah.
Lawyer hits Goldfinch. Layup is good. Cuts it to 2. Wow. Jamerson.
I think rightfully so. Goldfinch is dirty. I mean, that looked like an and-1. But they're back. Only down 2 points now.
I don't think we've seen as many huge swats all season as we have in this game.
Combined. Wow. Get on the NBN highlight reel. And Jameson's had about 3 of them.
King smacks it down on pretty much the whole Seahawks squad. Deshaun King puts the hammer down.
Wow.
We've been waiting for it, and he delivers. And it's a 4-point lead for Spartans.
Ah, wow. He's like, you got me a couple times, but I got the best one of the day.
Well, that should have counted for at least 3 or 4 points. And Goldfinch drives baseline. His floater is short.
Just again, just that experience of another quick shot.
And we're approaching a minute to go in the game. It's a 4-point lead for Spartans. Philp looking to work some clock. He's going to fire a 3. It's too strong. And Lomakin has it now for North Gold Coast. Skips it out to Goldfinch. He'll fire a 3. That's good from Cameron Goldfinch. The lead is 1. And Coach Ben Thompson going to take a timeout with his team holding on to a 1-point lead. We'll take a quick break as well. 86-85 the lead for Spartans over Seahawks. And your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you at Roland Cowan Stadium. You just heard it in here. Gold Coast Rollers up 24, 97-73 with 2 minutes to go. So it looks like they'll be heading up to Mackay to take on the Meteors next weekend in the quarterfinals. Dave, we got a good finish coming up here, though. 86-85, a minute to go. Keys for both teams. Give me what the Spartans need to do to win.
Well, I think they're going to, as goes, Eustace is going to be their key, I think. And that is just, again, being patient. Go back to that set they've been running early on in every time of a quarter because they get good opportunities at it. And the Seahawks have done a pretty poor job defensively most of the night. And just back to that last Goldfinch 3, that's a much better look because that's just in transition rhythm jump shot, right? I've got no problem with that. It's just some of the quick shots that Seahawks have had today where good roll from Vokman, missed an easy one.
Quigley, good offensive rebound, swatted by Goldfinch. Goldfinch lets him know. It's a 1-point lead here for Spartans. They've got 12 on the shot clock. That might have been a little quick there for Quigley.
I think the stats have been a bit harsh. 3 blocks for the Seahawks and 3 for Spartans. I think that's a little off. Jamison's had 3 blocks himself. That's
There's
a charge.
Eustace. They're going to call a blocking foul on Cameron Goldfinch. The bench can't believe it. So Eustace going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots with 33.7 seconds to go in the game.
Jared Eustace will go to the line to shoot 2.
I don't understand this warning of the bench shenanigans. It's insane, insane.
It is a bit, but 100%. It is the right call from Pat. I mean, the bench, they're not allowed to stand up and...
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm not saying Pat's bad decision. This is elite basketball. You want to see guys compete. You want to see guys passionate. They didn't do anything wrong. I mean, if they start bitching about referee calls, fair enough. But, well, anyway. maybe not. That was the offensive / block potential, but...
2 big free throws here for Jared Eustace. First one hits the back of the rim. That's off.
Well, they got another time if Seahawks use the clock, which based on the fact they haven't done that at all, means they're going to go for a quick one, which means Spartans could hold for potentially the last
Second free throw
shot here, and they're up
Spartans
2.
with a 2-point
Be really
lead.
interesting to see what the Seahawks do with this possession, because
33 seconds to
they haven't
play.
shown a great deal of patience all night long.
Jamerson gets inside. Layup is good, plus the foul from Jaron Jamerson. That was a huge bucket there. It ties the game, plus the foul.
Foul on number 1, Deshaun
Jaron Jamerson using that strength to get to the rim.
All tied up.
Big free throw coming up here with 26.5 seconds to go in the game.
That's a huge play too. 26 seconds to go. But a bit of a tough position for the North Gold Coast Seahawks to be in. There's 26 seconds to go, so they may make the free throw and go up by 1, but Spartans are still going to have the last shot of the game.
Free throw is too strong. Volkman with the big rebound. They can't foul here, can the Seahawks? They're in the penalty.
OT, boys. Are we going OT?
King has it. Skips it over to Quigley, back to King. King gonna bring it out to half court. There's 7 on the shot
Oh,
clock.
you got to help off everyone except Eustace here. Too long, too long.
King gonna fire a deep 3. It rattles home with 0.4 seconds to go in the game. That's it for the game. They're gonna take a timeout, but King drains the deep 3. I don't know. I would like to see if that beats the shot clock, because
Yeah.
I heard the shot clock go off.
Moment.
That was as close as it could get. What a bucket, though, by
Well,
King.
they've called it good on the floor, right?
They have,
definitely
and
have.
and they
Yeah.
can't overrule that either.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, let's take a look.
0.4 of a second. Seahawks will
Is this even enough time to get a shot off? That's what I'm asking. There's 0.4 left.
Technically it is. It has to be a tip, essentially. So it has to be a pass in, and essentially, I can't remember the specific timing. I've got a feeling 0.4 is enough to catch in the air and shoot.
So
Yeah,
it's-
.7 is it maybe?
I can't. I
Yeah.
think it might be 0.7 is catch and shoot. So 0.4 might be a tip. So it's pretty much
So
going to have to
it's-
be passed in and tipped straight from 3.
So they'll have a number
So the
of
timeout advances it to half court.
they'll have a number of backdoor opportunities, because it's basically got to be a lob.
We're
the-
just
Are
having
we,
a
I was
look
going to say,
a look here.
are we going to be able to see the shot clock? Yeah, we can see the shot clock
Yeah.
in play. Right underneath our
Unfortunately-
Live Sport Australia logo.
2-1.
All right, let's. Yeah, that's out.
Yep, so just beats the shot clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
With the-
Rattles it home.
with the
By
game winner.
0.2 of a second with on the shot clock to go as well.
King
Wow.
is king.
That's that one is deserving of the old Sam Cassell celebration, Dave. You know what I'm talking about. That's balls of steel. Let's see if North Gold Coast can sneak one home. It inbound to Jamerson. He gets the shot off. It's an air ball. And the Southern District Spartans behind the deep Deshaun King buzzer beater are going to win 90-87. What a game here, Dave. It was right down to the final buzzer. But the Spartans sneak home with the 90-87 win. They had the much better second half. North Gold Coast with a really good performance, but Spartans just that step better.
Yeah, absolutely. The Mega Bowl didn't disappoint today, Johnny, with the Spartans taking the win. King, massive dunk, and a massive 3.
So that, I think, will give the North Gold Coast Seahawks the wooden spoon on the season. Now let's take a look at some final statistics for your Southern District Spartans. Deshaun King had 25, as did Jared Eustace. Eustace also with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. King had 7 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with those 25 points. The only other player in double figures for Southern Districts was Ben Volkman. He had 10 points and 10 rebounds. Spartans shot 39% from the floor, 30% from 3, got to the free throw line 31 times and hit on 70% of those shots. They also had 20 offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded North Gold Coast 62-50. For North Gold Coast Seahawks leading the way, Jaron Jamerson had 23 points. Cameron Goldfinch with 21 points, 8 rebounds. Jamerson had 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and Quentin Campbell had 19 points and 6 rebounds. Seahawks shot 42% from the field, 24% from 3. Got to the free throw line 19 times, only hit on 47% of their free throws. So that's a big difference there for North Gold Coast, but a really nice win for Spartans, and both teams really fought it out to the end this afternoon, Dave.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest early on, and it certainly turned interesting in the fourth quarter, and both teams did a good job. again, they're both playing for a lot. Even though it's 14th and 15th, it's still a lot of personal pride on the line. So great job. Jameson was terrific. Disappointing that Campbell fouled out because I feel it would have been a different outcome if he could stay in the game. But that's the breaks, and so hopefully the Seahawks can keep learning and building on the end of their season.
And just to let you know, final down at the Gold Coast, Carrara Sports Stadium. It's 104-79. The Gold Coast Rollers win, and they are in the finals. So congratulations to them. But that's going to wrap it up for us here. I got to thank Chris Sieber on the camera, Regan Baker on the commentary and production panel, Dave Derwin on the commentary, and as always, James Bowman and the Australian Sports Network for all their technical support and graphic support as well. We're not sure where we will be next week. We will have an announcement for you on the Nothing But Net Media Facebook page, so please, if you don't already, give us a like and follow. We will have some highlights from this game up as well. I'm John Guarna. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. It's been an excellent QBL season, and we can't wait to present the finals for you starting next week. We will have a men's and women's game for you. We will have a men's and women's semifinal for you, and we will have each and every game of both grand final series. That's going to wrap it up for us here from Roland Cowan Stadium. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another presentation of QBL basketball by Nothing But Net Media.